What's up, YouTube? Brothers on the Grid here. We're here to talk about some exciting news in the F1 world.
Brothers on the grid together. We ride in the world of Formula side by side.
That's right. We're here to talk about the Hamilton news, which is super exciting and honestly mind-blowing. Like, I still can't believe it. We
Oh,
took some time to record this because I just need to get my head in an okay space to talk about it as a Mercedes fan.
as a Ferrari fan, stoked. Stoked.
Oh, it'll be good. So in case you haven't heard yet, Hamilton announced, and it's official, that he is going to Ferrari in 2024.
2025.
2025. Not this year, but the following year. So he still has one more year with Mercedes. And Landon, I just wanted to hear your thoughts about this. I had so many things I want to discuss. I just wanted to hear your thoughts about this.
Oh, I'm honestly I'm excited. Um, I don't know who's going to be leaving Ferrari. I haven't really heard. I've heard like some things back and forth. They haven't officially announced who's going to be leaving, right? Or have they?
Not like officially,
Not
but Leclerc has a
has a
long,
contract.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I've heard, which makes me sad that Steins is leaving, but I'm excited for Lewis to be here. It's going to be good stuff once he gets here.
Okay,
It's
well, that brings me to my first question for you as a Ferrari fan.
hmm
One of the biggest concerns for Mercedes, if they had an amazing year this year, or their car is really good, is that Lewis, they will be competing for points because they're both really good drivers.
between
Um,
like Lewis and Russell.
exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so if they had an amazing car, they'd probably be taking points off of each other. So I wanted to hear what your thoughts were of we have Leclerc, who is the homeboy for Ferrari, long contract. He's a really good driver. In my opinion, probably top three, maybe top five drivers on the grid. And then
Yeah.
you have Lewis coming in, who's a seven-time world champion. He's an amazing driver. Are you concerned at all that they're going to be butting heads?
Um, I mean, yeah. Yeah, that concern's always there. Um, because I mean, new guy on the block, he's going to be trying to like show off a little, live up to his name, like in that Ferrari red, he's gonna be, I can see them getting a little hot-headed, butting heads, and I don't see Leclerc like backing down and like stepping out of the way for Lewis. I think he'll like hold his ground, like he wants to be the top driver on the team, even if Lewis is coming in. So I can see some contention there. Um, but I think ultimately, like it'll be good for the team and it'll push them both to be better drivers in the end. And so I think we'll see good things out of it. Even though there might be some contention in the background as someone sitting at home watching the races, I think it's going to be good overall.
I 100% agree. I think that it will be good. I of course think there's going to be drama, but when they
Yeah.
announced this year essentially that no drivers were changing for this coming season, I was
Yeah.
actually really disappointed. And then all of a sudden this dropped, and I'm super excited, honestly, even for this season and then for the following season. And there's going to be so many changes here in the next couple of months because of this change.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I'm excited to see in this season what happens with like George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Like just that dynamic is like it's like, oh, Lewis is leaving, but like he's still one of the best and stuff. And so are they gonna like favor George more? Are they gonna like try to keep it even and fair between them? Like it's hard to see. Hard to say.
Yeah. I want to backtrack a little bit and talk about why I think all of this happened. And
Okay.
as much as I am a Mercedes fan, I honestly think that it was Mercedes' fault that they're losing Hamilton, the current best driver, in my opinion.
Really?
And why I say that is I don't know if you've seen very much, but Hamilton signed a 2-year contract that was going to be for this coming season and the season after.
Hmm.
And essentially, Mercedes said, it sounds like from the outside, this isn't confirmed anywhere, that Hamilton wanted to sign a longer contract. He wanted to do like a 2-year guaranteed and then like a +1 where like either party could terminate, right?
Hmm.
And he also wanted to be an ambassador for Mercedes, which makes sense because he's been here with Mercedes for like what, 12 years? I mean, he
Yeah,
should be an ambassador.
forever.
Yeah. And instead, the contract was a 1+1, meaning 1 year guaranteed, and then either party could terminate and no ambassador. So, for my opinion,
Mm,
Lewis is like, well, if you don't care for me, I
yeah.
am interested in driving for Ferrari because they are the Ferrari Red. They're amazing. Like, who wouldn't want to drive for them, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I think that that's kind of Mercedes' fault. And I honestly don't blame Hamilton for leaving. If I didn't feel cared for from a company, why would I stay? And so, like, as much as I love Mercedes, it made me question them a little bit, which is sad. And then
Yeah.
the fallout of this, of like so many top like people leaving, it just makes me really sad. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens in the next, what, 2 years of like with Mercedes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it kind of makes sense coming from Mercedes because, like, Lewis is already like the face of Mercedes. So it's like, why make him an official ambassador, have to pay him more, all this stuff when he already like just is by being him, you know? So, but
But for
yeah.
the exact reason of this.
Yeah, but now he's leaving, he's dipping out. So I can see where they're coming from, but it sucks that it happened.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh well,
Yep.
it happens. Everything happens. I think personally, it's just going to make it more of an interesting season.
Yeah. Now,
So
what?
yeah,
Oh, no, you go
no,
first.
no,
I
go.
was just gonna say, what's your opinion on what Mercedes is gonna do next? Like, do you think they're gonna try to steal someone else from another team, get someone from F2, get a driver that like isn't driving for a team right now but has been in F1? Like,
Yeah, that's actually what I was about to bring up. So same
okay,
wavelength,
cool.
brothers, gotta be.
Brothers
Um,
on the grid.
I think that there's a couple of different things that could happen. And so I'm going to kind of lay them out and then I'm going to tell you what I think is most likely.
Okay.
So we do have this upcoming year where Hamilton is still going to be driving for Mercedes. And I do think that they will be favoring George when they do, if there are any decisions to be made in that case. I personally think that they'll be favoring George just
I mean,
because
makes
he's
sense.
going to be with the company for longer. However, I mean, they do have Hamilton. I don't think they're going to screw him over, but I think that if it comes down to like the small things, they'll say it's George.
Yeah.
In terms of like replacements, I have heard rumors that like potentially, um, like Hamilton will go over to Mercedes or go over to Ferrari prior to the end of the season because like if he wants to leave, like have him be gone. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think he's going to stay for the season.
Hmm.
And then I do think, in my opinion, there's mainly 3 options of people that are going to be coming over to take his spot. And I'm going to blank on his name here. If I remember throughout this like video, this YouTube video, I will say his name. But there's an up and coming driver for Mercedes that is just going to be starting his F2, his first time being like an F2 driver this year. He has a ton of hype around him, and I can't believe I'm blanking on his name because he's like the up and coming star.
Hmm.
So I think that they could pull him in. Pros of that, super young driver. He won't be competing against George Russell. It'll kind of be like the situation at McLaren right now, where you have like one younger but experienced driver and then a super young driver. And I think that that could work really well. Cons, this is his first year in F2. He
Yeah.
potentially do as well. being an F2 another year could help him with his driving. There's a lot that can go, he can improve a lot in F2. So I think there are pros and cons. I also think that they could bring in a super experienced driver like Alonso.
Oh,
And I think that that would be super awesome. Him and Russell get along super, super well. I think that it could be exciting.
mhm.
Con, I don't know if Alonso wants to. He has kind of a good setup right now, assuming that they keep on improving the car.
Yeah.
And then third is they could bring on another driver. Most likely it would be like Esteban Ocon or, someone else along those lines. Personally, I think that bringing on Alonso would be my number one, bringing in the F2 and then bringing in just like another Formula One driver that's on the grid, like SD Bestie. I think that that's like my third option because I think that there'd be more butting heads and it doesn't really make sense from a long-term perspective where like Alonso in and then he'll be gone. The F2 driver's super young. He can come in, he can be the future once Russell's done or whatever, right?
Yeah, they can work with him for a long time and
Exactly. And they can develop him into who they want him to be. So I think that those two are my personal choices, but we'll see. I don't know. What are your
we'll
thoughts?
see. Um, Honestly, I haven't thought about it a whole lot. I think bringing in an F2 driver would be a good choice for them. Um, I mean, they wouldn't have the experience that they normally had, but with all that's changing in Mercedes right now, it could be a good fresh start for them to have someone that's just fresh and new and not as known, but willing to work and willing to put in the grind, listen to others, and get done what he needs to get done, kind of thing. Um, so I think that'd be super cool, good for them. But also Daniel Ricciardo. No, I just like Daniel. I doubt they ever would, but um, yeah, honestly, I don't have too much of an opinion on it. But
I want to hear your thoughts on this then.
okay.
What if they just did a clean swap and took Carlos Sainz? What are your thoughts on him going over to Mercedes?
Oh,
I didn't mention
just
that because I don't want it to happen, but it's just my personal preference. I want to hear what you think.
I mean, I like signs a lot. So if they did, I think that'd be legit. Um, I don't know how him and George Russell would get along, but I could see good things happening there if they did.
Yeah, I agree that I think he is a really, really good driver. The problem is I think they're both sitting around fifth, sixth, seventh best on the grid right now. And so I think there'd be a lot of contention. I don't know though.
Yeah, they'd both be around the same area and now in the same car. They're yeah.
That's why I'm not a fan of it, mainly because of that. And also, I'm either get a super experienced, really good driver or rebuild with a young driver in my mind. Do one of the two, don't go for the middle thing. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. It's going to be an exciting season this season with all of that going on. And then a following season, it'll be super good. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
excited.
Two really good seasons coming up, boys.
Let's go. We'll be
Let's
here the
go.
entire time.
Woo!
Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss about this?
No, I think we've covered all that's in my brain.
Okay, those are my main points too. I think that we have an exciting couple of seasons ahead of us. So join us along while we're watching Formula One, talking all things Formula One. We're gonna be trying to put out a video about once a week is what we're shooting for, and so that's kind of what you can be expecting, and we'll try to make them the best that we can, especially as we continue to improve with technology and everything. These videos should continue to improve as well. So,
Oh yeah. If you get
bro,
bored, subscribe, just if you're bored.
just the usual.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for joining me on the grid today.
Yeah, of course, bro.
Take care.
Sup, bro?
Sup?